three levels of spiritual practice. The three levels of spiritual practice are, let's start out at the top. You are Brahman. Right? That's the truth, according to Advaita Vedanta. Well, our objection there is, I may well be Brahman, I may well be the infinite reality, but I don't feel it. I don't know it. I don't get it. In that case, the first level of practice comes in. What's your problem? Your problem is you don't know what you are. Ignorance is the problem. What's the solution for ignorance? Knowledge is the solution. Well, how do you generate this knowledge? Through the Jnana Yoga, the path of knowledge, which consists of listen, reflect, meditate. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Just keep it in mind, the first level, first layer. Problem, solution, method. Problem, ignorance of my Brahman nature. Solution, knowledge of my Brahman nature. Method, the Jnana Yoga. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Hearing, reflecting, meditating. And then there are lots to be done up in those things. What exactly is hearing and how do you reflect upon it? And the huge range of meditative techniques which you can select from. But then the next problem arises, the next layer. We say that, well, I've heard this all, again, Swami, you're not telling me anything new. And true, it's everybody knows this. We have all been told, you are God, you're one with God. The Upanishads declare it, and they have been declaring it for 5,000 years. Not doing me any good. So the second layer of problem says, the mind is unable to soak in, absorb this information, this teaching. The problem with the mind. So the level of the mind, the problem is the mind is distracted mind. Solution, concentrated mind, focused mind. Method, meditation. So this is different from the non-dual meditation, which was done earlier. Then this meditation is for focusing the mind, calming the mind, focusing the mind, getting a hold of, training the attention, basically. So here, Raja Yoga or Dhyana Yoga, the method of Patanjali Yoga Sutras, method of meditation, plus Bhakti is very useful. Bhakti is deeply useful. I'm not going to why it's useful. It's very, very important for a spiritual seeker. In the path of classical Advaita also it is cultivated. Bhakti to God. Now, here one might ask that, whom am I going to have devotion to? If I am that, you just told me you are that. Good. But now you see the direct meaning and the implied meaning, they'll become useful. When you take you are that, it makes sense in the implied meaning. But if you take the direct meanings means you, this individual, that means God, Krishna, Rama, Devi, whatever. Then you, the individual, can definitely have bhakti to Krishna or to Rama or to Devi. So in the direct sense, bhakti is possible because you are not the infinite reality. The direct sense, you just take yourself as the person as you appear to be. Now, so this is the second level of the sadhana. I'll sum it up later. But here also, people might object. You know, Swami, I have been trying meditation for 30 years and I'm not making any progress. My mind is very restless. All right. Then the third level, and I promise you this is the final level. The third level of sadhana is the impure mind. The mind is restless because it is impure. So the solution for impure mind is pure mind. How do you get this pure mind? One powerful method is karma yoga. Why should that? Karma yoga means selfless action. Do your duty not for your own selfish body-mind ends, but for the welfare of others. Or powerfully, again, you see the importance of bhakti as a worship of God. I love my Krishna. I love my Divine Mother, and all the work that I'm doing, whether it's in the soup kitchen, whether it's in the office, whether it's in my own home, whatever work I'm doing, some of it I get paid for, some of it is I'm volunteering, all of it is my worship of my beloved Divine Mother. All of this. You will see what joy it will give you and what a great cleansing effect, purifying effect it has on the mind. Summing up, spiritual practice in non-dual Vedanta, 3 layers, 3 levels of problems, 3 levels of solutions, and 3 methods to do it. At the bottom, impure mind, problem, solution, pure mind, method, karma yoga. Middle level, problem, restless mind, solution, concentrated mind, method, Raja Yoga plus Bhakti Yoga. Then at the top, Final level, peak of the mountain. Problem, ignorant mind. Solution, knowledge. Method, Jnana Yoga. With a purified mind, meditative mind, Vedanta will become effective immediately, and you are released from suffering. You realize, I am Brahman. That's it.
Thank you, Swami. Swami Atmarupananda, would you
Yes.
like to, okay, and then I'm going to throw out a question for both of you.
You mean just remarks?
What you would like to say?
Okay, well, in my last session, I ended by mentioning an important distinction between the Buddhist view of reality and the Vedantic, Advaita Vedantic. And that was, it was pointed out by Swami Vivekananda and emphasized by Sister Nivedita also. And that is that according to Vedanta, within the appearance, or if one prefers, within the illusion, but I prefer appearance, is the reality. And so everything here can be a help to us if we understand the connection between the appearance and the reality. That's why even on the path of Advaita, someone like Ramana Maharshi advised those who had one to focus on the mantra. In fact, he's made such paradoxical statements as japa is reality. Now that sounds like a contradiction because japa is a process and reality is that which is beyond all process, beyond all ideas. But I think what he meant was that when the mind becomes unified through any process, whether it's through japa, through the concentrated mind, or through traditional Advaitic practice, the mind becomes strong, and the unified mind becomes capable of perceiving reality. That's the whole idea of traditional yoga and Sankhya. They didn't go far enough because they didn't have the knowledge that I am reality itself. They came to the point where there are many Purushas. But the unified mind is capable of a much subtler perception. And then when we get knowledge, the knowledge of Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, then the mind is able to grasp it at a deep level and hold on to it. And so through, whether it's through japa, whether it's through puja, whatever, as Swami Sarvapriyananda was saying, whatever purifies the mind, but also whatever unifies the mind, helps us to attain a state where the knowledge of Vedanta becomes fruitful. Let me just give a couple of short practices to describe them, which are also helpful as far as being directly Advaitic practices. One is one that was taught by Ramana Maharshi and by a number of teachers in that lineage, and it's mentioned by Swami Vivekananda also. That is holding on to the sense I am. The sense I am, when we hold on to it, not as an idea, not as a mantra, not as words, but the simple fact that I am, the undeniable fact that I am. When we can hold on to that, the image of the body is there, distracting thoughts are there, emotions arise, memories arise, and all of that. But in and through all of it, if we hold on to the simple fact that I am, without allowing the image of the body, thoughts, and everything to arise, but trying to hold on to what is behind them, the fact that I am. As we do that, we begin to find that the sense I am becomes a reality in itself. This is important because the sense I am, we begin to find with time, is consciousness itself, and it is also existence itself. But when I hold on to the I am, and I can do that when I understand that the I am means the simple presence of my existence, I am, I begin to see that that is something which is not personal. It's not connected to the ego. I begin to see that my thoughts arise within the I am, the body floats within the I am, And then, as Swami Vivekananda says, I begin to see that the sun rises within the I am, the moon shines within the I am. And then I begin to feel that the I am is something which is universal. It's within the I am that I'm connected to the I am of God. It's within the apparently individual I am, which is not individual at all. It's only apparently individual. That's why holding on to the sense of I am leads us to a point where we begin to feel connected to the I am of everyone and everything. And then we see that everything in the world, animate and inanimate, is constantly saying, I am, meaning I am present. Not in words, not in different languages, but the fact is manifesting itself. It's bhasa, it's shining with the I am. And then I realize that it's within the I am that the I am of the individual blends with the I am of God and with the I am of all others. It's a very powerful practice, which is very simple to do once we get the feeling of it. But it's easy also because everyone has the sense I am. But it takes us a long way.
Okay.
Can I just add something?
Yeah.
Yes. I just remembered, this may sound a little technical, but it's important. A traditional monk from Benares, we had a talk over phone, a chat over phone a few months ago. And he teaches Vedanta, but in Hindi and Sanskrit there. And his students, who are, I guess, much more tech savvy than their master, they said, but Swami, you said this, but Swami Sarvapriyananda said this about Vedanta, about something, some verse. And then he said, who's this Sarvapriyananda? I said, so he is on YouTube and so on and so forth. And then he said, I listened to your talks, and he was very happy with the talks, but he pointed out a couple of things. He said, the way you teach, Swami, it reflects something in post-Shankara Advaita Vedanta, which is a heavy influence of Buddhism and a heavy influence of Sankhya. What he means by that is, you start off by distinguishing yourself, because give a lot of effort in distinguishing yourself from, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind because of these reasons. These distinctions, but this is not Vedanta. This is basically Sankhya. And this creates a damage which has to be later repaired. He said, so that's why you have to work very hard to establish oneness afterwards. Remember, our theme is experiencing oneness, not difference. So this difference is the analytical way of finding out difference of consciousness from the body-mind is a Sankhyan process. On the other hand, about the world, this analysis of the world, which I didn't do too much, but in other places I've done, to show that the world is false. The world is an appearance. It's a network of illusion. It has no existence of its own. It is all Maya. This emphasis, overemphasis on the falsity of the world. Again, this is not the heart of Vedanta. It's like a residue left on Vedanta by a long and fierce engagement with Buddhism. So just these two correctives, what he suggested, I'm going to hand it over to you at the end of this discussion. Emphasize, when you're doing I'm not the body, not the mind consciousness, emphasize oneness at the end of it all rather than separation. That's one. And emphasize the reality rather than the falsity. So Advaita Vedanta is about reality and oneness. And the discussions about falsity and separation are just means of getting there. One sadhu in Uttarakhand, he said that ये जो दृग दृश्य करते रहते हैं ना, ये कच्चे वेदांती हैं. These fellows who spend their time separating the seer from the seeing, witness from the witnessed, these are unripe Vedantins. Yes, they are. Which is basically, you could be referring to me. I keep talking about that all the time. No, that is not the end result. That is just a part of the process. Yeah.
Okay, we've had some people asking about how do I find a guru in the Ramakrishna tradition? And also, what is the science of mantra diksha? Is it a live transmission from guru to disciple? I'll answer the first part, and then I'll throw the second part out to you both. We have centers all over the world, and we have quite a number in the United States. At the Vedanta Society of Southern California website, you can see where our centers are in the United States, where they are in Europe, and so on and so forth. And then you begin by trying to associate with the person that you feel attracted to. You start out with videos, and if they've written something, to read their books, and then you visit and associate. And so that is the beginning of the process. Now, the second is what is the science of mantra diksha. Swami Atmarupananda, would you like to start?
Okay, I can start with that. Mantra diksha, there are four basic purposes to mantra diksha. One is that it's a purification of the body and mind. And that's why only a person who has been initiated generally is allowed to do puja in a temple. In your home, you can do what you like, but in a temple or in a center, you can generally help with the direct service of the deity. In our centers, that'd be Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, and Swamiji, if you're initiated, because that purification is there. That purification comes through several things, but part of it is that in the initiation, you offer your karma to Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, and Swamiji, and ask them to take the burden of your karma. And it's considered that from that time forward, you are no longer alone in working out your karma, that you have established a relationship with them, with the powers behind our tradition. And this can be extended to other traditions, but I'm speaking, the question was framed in reference to our tradition. A second purpose of initiation is that through it you join a tradition. As Swami Sarvapriyananda spoke, I forget whether it was this morning or yesterday, but spoke about the importance of belonging to a tradition. And it is important because you are joining a family, a spiritual family, which is supportive, as a family is meant to be. Also, by entering into a family, you have, as it were, rights of inheritance, not legal rights that you can take to a court or to a Swami, but you are joined to a tradition, and the wealth of the tradition becomes open to you in a way that it's difficult otherwise to get, because you have made a commitment to the tradition and to the source of the tradition, and that opens something within you, that opens you to the wealth of the tradition. A third purpose is that you get meditation instruction. That's important because when we are meditating on our own, we try all sorts of different things and don't know what to settle with. But you get specific meditation instructions. Do this and do it like this. The fourth and last is that you get an impulse of spiritual power through the giving of the mantra, because the mantra is empowered by the tradition. So these are the four things that happen in principle in initiation. The first two are like entering into other traditions, like Christian baptism. It's a purification, and you're becoming a member of a Christian church. So it's a purification for us, and we're entering the Ramakrishna movement in a subtle inner way. And then the other two are specific to mantra initiation, meditation instructions and empowerment to a mantra.